I did an earlier video about Vincent Price, who was this actor that was sort of the king of horror movies at one point in time. And in 1967, he started a movie called Witchfinder General, where he plays this guy who's hunting witches. And the movie was a big enough hit that it inspired a whole wave of devil-worshipping movies and witchcraft movies. You had movies like Mark of the Devil, To the Devil a Daughter, The Devil Rides Out, the William Shatner movie The Devil's Reign, which inspired the Michael Myers mask. As part of this wave, the best of these devil worship movies was just called The Devils.
The Devils. This picture has been rated X. No one under 17 admitted.
And the plot of it is that there's this priest named Father Grandier, played by Oliver Reed, who has so much power in this small town that he's sort of like the mayor. He's able to sleep with all the women and threaten people and do whatever he wants. Meanwhile, in the national church, there's this Cardinal Richelieu, who's teaming up with this bizarre version of Louis XIII, who in this movie is depicted as this flamboyant transvestite. I don't know if that's historically accurate, but that's how he is in the movie. They're trying to fuse the government with the church so that they can take over these different towns, like the one that Father Grandier has. While this is going on in Father Grandier's town, there's this sexually repressed nun, played by Vanessa Redgrave, who has, I guess, some advanced form of scoliosis. And she's always fantasizing about Father Grandier and imagining him as Jesus and all this different sexual stuff. And she starts acting so crazy that people start thinking she's possessed. And then all the other nuns in the whole coven start acting like they're possessed. And that causes the church to start sending in these Inquisition-style exorcists to cure these nuns, to get the devil out of them. And in the process, they do all these weird experiments on them and rituals. And they start to blame Father Grandier. They start to use this chaotic demon possession situation as an excuse to get him removed from power, so they accuse him of being a devil worshipper.
Especially invented for this occasion is the work of men who are not concerned with fact, or with law, or with theology, but a political experiment to show how the will of one man can be pushed into destroying not only one man, or one city, but one nation.
It's a very visually striking movie. It's actually based on a book by Aldous Huxley called The Devils of Loudun, and it was also later adapted into a play. Aldous Huxley is the author of Brave New World and The Doors of Perception, which is where the band The Doors got their name from. But when his book was adapted into this movie, the movie was slapped with an X rating. It got all sorts of controversy around it. And to this day, it hasn't really gotten a widespread, proper release. The film critic Mark Kermode has been very helpful in acquiring these different lost scenes.
Where we return once again to the subject of Ken Russell's The Devils, and the question of why it is that Warner's, the American studio who owns the movie, won't allow Ken's director's cut of The Devils to be released. It was premiered in London 10 years ago this month, but since then, Warner's have refused to allow it to be released in its entirety. Now, I did a blog saying this is outrageous.
And the director Guillermo del Toro was in the news a couple years ago, blasting Warner Brothers because they're the ones that own the movie. But whatever the reason, it's very difficult to get a hold of this movie. Until just recently, I saw it on the Criterion Channel, which is the website you can go to access and stream all of the Criterion Collection's movies for like $11 a month. So I signed up and I watched the movie, and it's very interesting. So I think if you want to see something that's a little different, you ought to check it out.